On September 2025, Vladimir Putin signs a contract in China. Not for weapons, not for trade. For a 4,000-kilometer pipeline that will outlast empires.
Capacity of Russian natural gas deliveries to China by 50 billion cubic meters.
While Europe's factories shut down and energy bills triple, Russia just locked in a 30-year gas deal.
Because there is no such a thing as former KGB guy.
Gas is one of his two main tools for coercion, for leverage, for influence.
With the world's second-largest economy. And here's what terrifies Washington. Not a single dollar will change hands. If investigations like this matter to you, consider subscribing.
As you see, my dear friend, both myself and the entire Russian delegation, we are glad to have this chance to meet again our Chinese.
This isn't about gas pipelines. It's about who controls the global economy in the 21st century. The world is splitting into two blocks, and this pipeline just made it official. Right now, the global energy map is being redrawn. For decades, Europe relied on cheap Russian natural gas to power its factories, heat its homes, and fuel its economy.
As a case officer, you have to be able to manipulate people.
Then, in 2022, the Nord Stream pipelines were sabotaged. Blown up in the Baltic Sea. Europe's energy lifeline, gone.
That energy often can be the precursor to a war.
The United States took credit. Trump himself bragged about killing Nord Stream and forcing Europe to buy American liquefied natural gas instead. But here's the problem. American LNG costs 3 times more than Russian pipeline gas.
China, it's wrapped up its high-profile Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit with the announcement of a major energy deal with Russia.
Germany's industrial base, legendary car manufacturers like BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes, is collapsing under the weight of energy costs. Meanwhile, Russia didn't collapse. It didn't crumble under sanctions. Instead, it turned east. And in September 2025, Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping signed the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline deal. The largest natural gas project on Earth, over 4,000 kilometers long. A 30-year contract. And here's the part that terrifies Washington. Not $1 will change hands. The entire deal is priced in Rubles and Yuan. This is the beginning of the end of the dollar's dominance, and it starts with a pipeline. In September, Vladimir Putin traveled to China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit. This wasn't just a diplomatic photo op, it was a show of force. China, Russia, India, Central Asian republics, all standing together against Western attempts to divide them. During these meetings, Russia and China signed dozens of agreements, but one stood out: the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline. Gazprom's CEO called it the most capital-intensive gas project in history. It will stretch from Russia's Yamal gas fields, currently a major supplier to Europe, all the way to China. And it comes with a guarantee. 50% of payments in rubles, 50% in yuan. $0. This isn't just an energy deal. It's a declaration of economic independence from the West. But to understand why this matters, you have to understand what happened to Europe. In 2021, Europe was thriving. Germany was the industrial heart of the continent. Its factories ran on cheap Russian gas delivered through the Nord Stream pipelines. Then came the war in Ukraine. The West imposed sanctions on Russia. The EU pledged to boycott Russian energy. And in September 2022, the Nord Stream pipelines were sabotaged. Underwater explosions destroyed the infrastructure. Europe's main gas supply cut off. The United States immediately stepped in, offering to sell Europe liquefied natural gas instead. But there was a catch. American LNG cost 3 times more than Russian pipeline gas. Almost overnight, Europe's energy costs skyrocketed. German factories started shutting down. Industries that had thrived for generations began collapsing. Bloomberg published a report warning that Germany's status as an industrial superpower was ending. Meanwhile, China was filling the gap. Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers like BYD started dominating global markets. China became the world's largest car producer, accounting for 39% of global vehicle production. Europe's car industry, once untouchable, was being crushed by high energy costs and Chinese competition. And here's the kicker. Russia didn't collapse. Instead, it found a new customer. In 2010, only 5% of Russia's exports went to China. By 2023, that number jumped to over 30%. And 36% of Russia's imports now come from China. Even more striking, 95% of trade between Russia and China is conducted in rubles and yuan. The dollar has been almost entirely removed from the equation. After the 2014 Ukraine crisis, the West imposed sanctions on Russia. NATO expanded eastward. The US treated Russia as an enemy. So Putin made a choice. Instead of trying to integrate with the West, Russia would integrate with Asia. And China was the perfect partner. China needed energy. Russia had it. China wanted to challenge dollar dominance. Russia agreed. Both countries wanted to build a multipolar world, one where the US couldn't dictate terms anymore. The Power of Siberia. Two pipeline is the physical manifestation of that vision. But there's another reason China needs this pipeline so badly. In 2024, most of China's natural gas came from countries aligned with the United States. Australia supplied 23% of China's gas. Qatar supplied another 24%. And both countries are close US allies. If tensions escalate between the US and China, America could pressure these countries to cut off gas exports to China. Even worse, most of China's energy imports travel by sea, through choke points like the Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Malacca. The US Navy controls these waters. If the US ever blockaded these routes, China's economy would grind to a halt within weeks. And Russia offers the perfect solution: pipeline gas. Unlike LNG shipments, pipelines can't be blockaded. They can't be sanctioned easily. They bypass the ocean entirely. If you're still watching, hit like so more people understand what's really happening. With the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, China secures a 30-year supply of energy that the US can't touch. But this isn't just about energy security. It's about power. For decades, the US dollar has been the global reserve currency. Oil, gas, and most international trade were priced in dollars. This gave the US enormous power. But that's changing. China and Russia are leading a global movement to de-dollarize trade. Trade between Russia and China, 95% in local currencies. BRICS nations are exploring alternatives to the dollar. Even oil-producing countries in the Middle East are starting to accept yuan for oil sales. The US has weaponized the dollar for decades, using sanctions, trade restrictions, and financial blackmail to control other countries. Now those countries are building systems that bypass the dollar entirely, and the US is losing its grip. In 2007, Putin gave a speech at the Munich Security Conference. He condemned US global hegemony. He called for a multipolar world, where no single country dominated. The West ignored him. Then came NATO expansion. The 2014 Ukraine coup, sanctions, isolation. Russia tried to integrate with the West for years. It was part of the G8. It sought partnerships with Europe, but the West treated Russia as a threat. So Putin stopped trying. He turned to Asia, the Middle East, and the Global South instead. And now, with the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline, Russia has locked in a 30-year partnership with the world's second largest economy. The West didn't just lose Russia, it pushed Russia into China's arms. Here's what's really happening. The global economy is fracturing into two blocks. On one side, the US-led Western Bloc. Europe, NATO allies, dependent on American energy and military protection. On the other side, the China-Russia Eurasian Bloc. Trading in local currencies, building independent supply chains, challenging dollar dominance. And the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline is the physical border between these two worlds. Europe is trapped. paying more for energy, losing industrial competitiveness, becoming economically subservient to the US. Meanwhile, Asia is rising. The 21st century won't be an American century, it will be an Asian century. And this pipeline is proof. For decades, the US controlled global energy markets. It used that control to enforce its political will. But pipelines can't be sanctioned. They can't be blockaded. And once they're built, they last for generations. Russia and China just locked in a 30-year partnership that the US cannot break. The world is changing, and most people don't even know it's happening. If you want more investigations about the forces reshaping the world, subscribe. Share this documentary. The mainstream media won't tell you this. Because the biggest geopolitical shift of the decade isn't happening on a battlefield. It's happening in a 4,000-kilometer pipeline stretching across Siberia.